So before I went to Ryerson, it was one of those things where like now I came out with a lot of debt, and like I have no way of getting a job because I've got 9 months until I can get into Ryerson if I do. And so then that's when like being in the reserves really helped me out because they had work available, even though it was part-time in the beginning. I just had to give them some availabilities, and whatever odd jobs they had, I could go and do, and that was kind of nice in terms of building back some of my self-confidence and like getting me out of a little bit of a rut. When I began working at Moss Park like full time, like I was being trained, like I was getting on the job training, and then so by the time they like kind of said, hey, if there's a full-time post or position, if you want to apply for it, and like it was a good time for me to have that option because I didn't get into Ryerson like right away. I had to go to like Chang School and then take the night courses, which has like no academic restrictions or requirements. You can just pay and go take courses. Because that had become an option for me after they were like, yeah, based on your academic performance, we can't give you a full-time student position at Ryerson. When they said that, I already knew I was going to basically become a part-time student. The very next day I said I'd take it, and I spent like 5 hours working out like how I'm going to actually commit myself to waking up at 8 in the morning every day, practice guitar, go to work, and then make sure like I still have time to do all that school stuff. And it was hard adjustment until the first midterm, but then I realized eventually I got myself in a nice routine where it was just normalized for me to, on a Saturday spend like 6-7 hours studying. And then what I realized was I really, really enjoyed like enriching my brain as much as I could. But this semester when I was taking courses I wasn't so comfortable with, I realized it wasn't feasible anymore. When I went to day school and I started learning new things, like newer things, not just like Calc 1 and Calc 2 anymore, I realized like, why would I do anything else with my time, right? Like I'm like, I could be spending 40 hours doing more of this because this is so good. So presently, like I'm no longer working full-time in the reserves, and I'm just gonna go looking forward to really being a full-time student now. Quitting or just going back to part-time reserves wasn't a difficult decision at the end of it because math was just so much better. It's what I wanted to do.